Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my new video where we are going to be going over 5 tips. And my goal for this video is to make anyone that comes into this video, it's predominantly geared towards lower elo players, to make them better at the game and better overall with playing Jax. So with that being said, any questions you have, any comments you have, any tips you think I should have covered, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Also, always looking for more people for our flex groups and custom groups. Those are formed by just my friends list. As you can see up there, it's just my name, Lowfit. It's pretty much the same as my channel. You can add me. We do big custom games on the weekends, and usually I just put together a small flex group depending on the outcome, and I stream it on Twitch. That will be linked down below. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Lowfit. Do educational content, do tips videos, guide videos, and I peaked at Diamond 3. I've said that line so many times, it just is a running script in my head, so sorry for yammering on. Let's get right into the tips. Alright, and let's get into the first tip. Now, I wanted to put this one as the first tip because I think it is by far the most important one. And if you guys really just learn one thing from this video, I just really hope it's this one thing. Now, a lot of the times when you're looking at team fights, particularly in low elos like bronze, silver, and gold, the teams are just going to run at each other. But a really big thing you can be looking to do is getting a sweeper or a control ward and having a point of just a lot of fog for the enemy team, and look for a flank. This can be done in several ways. I mean, you can ward hop over the wall, you can set up different traps in different areas. All you need is a place with maybe some bushes or a wall, and it's not just smack dead in the center of where everyone is. So what this is going to be able to do is say that these two champions are Braum and Nautilus, just two champions that are really going to stop you from getting into the enemy team and going to provide a lot of CC. So this route would be very hard because you would take a lot of damage, first of all, from the back line at the limited amount of time that they're going to be able to CC you. Why not just look for a flank on their back line and really just get in like that? I think this is a lot more efficient way to approach team fights, is coming from an angle that they are really not anticipating, and really just causing chaos among their ranks, and just not really giving these frontliners too much time to react to your situation, and not giving these two too much time to react to your E coming in with the stun. So just keep this in mind when you're looking to play Jax. You're going to get better as you do it, but I just want you to, the next game you play of Jax, just look for as many flanks as possible and tell me how it goes, because I have a really big sneaking suspicion that you're going to perform better in team fights if you're consistently looking for flanks. However, a big caveat with that is you need to make sure that you have vision denied. You need to make sure you have either a sweeper, a control ward, or you have done the oracle lens, or whatever that little plant is called. And that will wrap up tip number 1. Alright, and let's get into the second tip for Jax. What I really want to talk about with you guys is how important the wave control is with Jax and acquiring resources, because Jax really is extremely item dependent for how well he's going to perform, much like other melee champions. So what you want to do is, when you have your lane push all the way up to the tower and you do not have an ability to dive them, you want to look to take advantages in other spots. Now, a very easy one for Jax to take if your jungler is not around would be something like the Scuttle Crab, because he has this stun. So you want to keep that in mind. Next up, you can look to get a deeper invade with his Q. It provides him quite a bit of mobility around the jungle if he gets caught, and you can look for deep wards that are really going to help your team out and go and give you vision in some very common paths. So it's either grab some scuttles, maybe even grab a camp or two, because of your passive provides you a lot of wave clear and just ability to clear minions quite quickly. So always be taking advantage of your dead time with Jax. He is so gated by how much gold he has, and he has such an expensive base items that work really well on him, that you need to just kind of take as much gold as possible without just absolutely pissing off your junglers. Say you're taking blue buff and Gromp every single time, that would probably be a big no. But taking Gromp every time, usually you can get away with it and no one's gonna say anything, and you probably will make better choices with those resources. If you have any questions about just kind of what you need to be doing with wave management, you can hit me up in the comments down below. All right, and getting into tip number 3 with Jax, a really big part of his laning phase is understanding the enemy's champion's kit and how to best play around it with your ability to dodge out of big skill shots with leap strike and your ability to negate quite a bit of damage from dodging with your counter strike and taking less damage from AoE with your counter strike. It is really, really important that you know the enemy's kits. If you have been playing Jackson top lane for a while and you're like, I don't really know how to play against Kled, I have a general idea, you need to understand where Kled's damage is coming from. A lot of his damage comes from first his Q and then second his W that is has a very loud audio ping when it goes off, and it kind of makes like this slashing noise, and that's when you want to look to do your counter strike. So when you are playing Jax in the top lane, really need to understand what the enemy's kit is. If you have any questions about a particular kit, say you're not really too familiar with the new Mordekaiser, you should always know before you go into a lane, you should know when you should be using your counter strike for the extra defensiveness, if you need to use your leap strike offensive or defensively or to dodge a skill shot, or when you need to be using your Grandmaster's Might to get a little bit more defense. The great thing is a lot of champions have very telegraphed burst combinations that are like very loud or have huge cues on screen, so always pay attention to those with Jackson. I think this will help you guys out quite a bit. Like for example, a huge fish coming at you with Fizz would probably be a good time to use some of your defensives, so always look for that in the top lane. And yeah, I'll wrap up tip number 3. All right, and for the next tip, guys, I really want to go into something that's really important, because what I see a lot of people doing on Jax is they're very feast or famine. They're either destroying the enemy lane, they're going 4-0 or 0-4. And I want to talk about the 0-4 because you're not going to really need those help too much with the games you're going 4-0. So when you're 0-4 in your lane, say you're against a really big annoying bully like Pantheon that can do well against Jax early. What I want you guys to see is sometimes the most beneficial thing you can do for your lane is to sacrifice this turret so you can get more secured farm deeper in the lane. Because if you're getting like tower dived or you're getting ganked a bunch and you're just really under your turret a lot, sometimes it's going to open it up a lot more for you to get more farm if you seed that turret, and it's going to allow you to farm deeper in here. Your jungler is going to have a lot easier ganking path on your opponent if he's trying to pressure you off farm, which is going to be extremely good. And then also the enemy jungler is going to see a guy nearly at his tier 2 farming, and he's going to be like, that's the last guy he wants to gank. I mean, it's going to be an extremely easy counter gank. There's going to be a huge chance to hit a bunch of wards because he's covering more ground. So sometimes this is the best thing, and just kind of play it out for the late game, particularly if you have a bot lane and a mid lane that are doing okay or going even. Just kind of be like, I can give up this turret and just kind of let the Pantheon maybe roam around a little bit, but I'm going to farm my way back in this game, and I'm going to be really useful in that game. And also what this is going to allow is a lot of the times when people see that they have given up a turret, the enemy champion is going to be like, okay, I'm going to roam and I'm going to pressure other lanes. So what you're going to be able to do when he's looking to roam and pressure other lanes, obviously all the free farm, and you can even look to push tower if he shows bottom, or if he shows, like, I don't know, in the jungle or somewhere around that is not too close to you. So always look to use this method when you are just getting absolutely crushed. It's not always the best thing to just try and keep that tower up at all costs. And that will wrap up this tip. All right, and for the final tip, I just wanted to go over something that's a little bit small, but I think you guys would really benefit just going into a practice tool or a training tool like like I am right now, and really getting good at your ward hopping and making it as fluid as possible, all right? And just knowing the distances of how far you can leap, and just try and make it as quick as possible. I'm an old man, so I don't really have the quickest reflexes with this, but you can just really, you don't want to be that Jax. It's like this, where he puts a ward down and he's like, and then Qs to it. You want to just have it be very, very quick, and you want to make sure that you have a quick cast for your ward, so you don't have to hover it and then click it and have it be another click. So just have a really good understanding of the ward hopping and what you need to do with your Q to do it as quickly as possible. That will wrap up my 5th tip. I know I didn't go into too much micro with jacks, but just kind of the flow with my channel is I really like doing more macro stuff because that's the reason I've been able to climb to diamond. I'm not the best micro level player. I know there's a bunch of other really good jaxes out there. I'd recommend if you want to find a really high performing Jax with a pretty entertaining stream. His name's Jax Stevens on YouTube, and he does a lot of Jax gameplay and is definitely really strong on the micro level compared to me. That's why I just kind of went over more macro tips that are going to help out newer players on Jax. Guys, I really appreciate it. I can't believe we're already at 7,400 subscribers. It's absolutely insane. I'm still going to be doing the cosplay at 10K subscribers, and it seems like it's coming a little bit sooner than I thought it was. So we'll see how that all plays out. And as always, guys, take it easy.